And when they wanted to shut down Florida in COVID-19, he said, hell no. And a funny thing happened when he made that decision. A whole lot of people started becoming Floridians. Oh, the ones who laughed and the ones who came. Okay. The radical Democratic left says that Florida engaged in culture wars. No, Ron DeSantis engaged in common sense. And we have become the pinnacle of conservative leadership here in Florida. But now, in 63 days, there is going to be a new Republican nominee for governor in Florida. And I'm telling you, as your next nominee for governor, we are going to make sure that Florida will always remain the free state of Florida, the conservative state of Florida, the red state of Florida, the beautiful Florida red. And it's great to be number one. It's great. I tell this story more and more. I was in Texas a year ago. I was in Dallas. And when you're in Dallas, the Texans, they have a swagger about them. But that's okay. You're going to love this part, right? Stay with me. See, you can't turn away. I got you. So I'm in Dallas. I'm doing an event. And when I'm in the room, it's full of Texans. And they have their hats, and they have their swagger, and they mean it. And I'm in the front of the room, and they're helping me. And I said to them, it is my honor to be in the second best state of all of America. You see, when you're number one, it's awesome. But the hard part is staying number one. The job for us is not just to rest on our laurels. It's just not to celebrate the freedom. The job now is to maintain that freedom and preserve that freedom for the next generation of Floridians who are going to call Florida home. That's the job. And there's many things that we have to do. Listen, I've been traveling the state for the last 16, 17 months. Affordability is on everybody's mind. Everybody's thinking about it. You guys are going to go to the polls this November and you're going to decide the future of property taxes. It is now in your hands to make that decision. And that's important for one very simple reason. You are not a never-ending piggy bank for government. You're not. You're red-blooded Americans who want to live the Florida dream like everybody else has before our time. But on insurance, we're going to do more to push down costs. The governor and the legislature did great work in tort reform. We're going to keep that work in place. But we have to reform our regulatory system in insurance. By the way, I worked in the private sector for 17 years. Before politics, banking, insurance, and financial services. Nobody else running for governor has ever worked in the private sector, except me. I think it's time that we have a governor that's actually worked in the private sector. He challenged to take on the affordability in this state. So we don't make politics for affordability. We actually get the job done with real results and real solutions. We're going to announce a reform package in insurance in Florida to change some of our regulatory system, to push those costs down. And then when you're talking about affordability, you also got to talk about permitting. Because 30% of the cost of the new home is government. Government permitting, government delays, government time, waiting on government, on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, we got supercomputers in our pockets. You all do. We're building the same houses we've been building since Hurricane Andrew. The only difference is the rendering and the finishing and whatever couch you look like and your appliances. That's the different stuff. The core is basically the same. We are going to speed up permitting and planning for building homes and building roads in our state. Because the longer it takes to get these jobs done, the more expensive it is to get these jobs done. And those expenses are not being borne by developers or contractors. They are being borne by moms and dads and small business owners and customers. They are the ones who bear the costs. It is time for government to be lean. It is time for government to be efficient. It is time for government to be fully transparent. And as your next governor, we are going to deliver to have the most efficient state in all of America. I mentioned a little bit about accountability. Everybody likes Doge. I like, oh, y'all don't like it? I like it. Let me tell you something. The Doge audits are going to stay. They're not going anywhere. And it's not just going to be for county government and municipal government and school boards. It is going to be for state agencies and every office of state government. There will be no favorite cows in the future of Florida. We are going to lead a lean and efficient government where you have all the information about what's being spent and how it's being spent. And you know how you get a text message? Unfortunately, if there's a child abduction and there's an Amber Alert, you know how you get a text message when there's a storm brewing in the Gulf of America? It's unexpected. By the way, great name. In Florida, when the Doge audits are done, you're going to get a ding, and it's going to say the Doge audit for Hillsborough County is now available. And you can look on that link and go up there. In Florida, you're going to get a ding. The audit on the Department of Juvenile Justice is now available. And you will be able to look through it and look at it and analyze it. We're a government in the sunshine. But we need to make sure that information is in one place to make it easy for you, the citizens of the state, to look through it and hold me accountable, hold the legislature accountable, hold local government officials accountable, because we don't work for ourselves. We work for you, and it is your money, and we're going to be transparent with your money, and we're going to be responsive with your money. With what's to come in Florida, defending the Florida dream, you're going to see an expansion in our economy. We already have a top 10 economy in the world. We're getting real close to the top 10. Our economy has always been built around agriculture and transportation and healthcare and tourism, transportation and construction. Our economy going forward is also going to be built around finance and aerospace and commercial space and defense and tech. Because I don't know if you've seen this, but over the last year and a half, we have a lot of titans of industry who are fleeing New York, they're fleeing Illinois, they're fleeing California because those states are stupid. Yeah. And that is how I'm done talking about raising property taxes. How dumb. Dumb. You got Kathy Hochul, I guess she knows who was on the Knicks championship team now, because she didn't know about it 2 weeks ago. She didn't even know. We all know that Gavin Newsom's the worst governor in the country. They don't like it. You have these guys who swear they're doing a bang-up job, but they are failures at Milton Friedman's #1 rule about public policy. Milton Friedman, if you've not heard of him, you should look him up. He still has YouTube videos to this day that explain economics better than most of these so-called experts on CNBC and Fox Business. He's one of the best ever, won the Nobel Prize in economics. And Milton Friedman said you can judge the policy of a city or a state by the movement of feet. Because people will leave jurisdictions that are dumb and don't make any sense. And they will go to places that are smart and use common sense. That's why they're coming to Florida. And they're bringing that economic growth with them. So our economy is going to expand. And so we're going to have to be smart about managing our growth because people are going to choose Florida. So we got to make sure the roads are being built and expanded efficiently. We have to make sure there's housing for the people who want to call Florida home into the future. And let me be very clear. My sons are 22, 18, and 15. My wife, Mr. Douglas, who, by the way, is from Tampa, Florida, she will fix Florida. She wants her sons. She wants the seventh generation to raise their kids and build their Florida dream here in our great state. That's what she wants. So, as any good husband, husbands, if your wives are here, don't look at your wife. Keep your eyes on me. I'm helping you right now. As any good husband, when your wife says, this is what I need, I heard yes there, I heard do it. All the husbands, their mouths are tight-lipped. No husband is speaking right now. We do need those schools. But let me tell you what we need for our kids. You see, I've talked a lot about growth and economics. We talked about the future and what's coming. We talked about our economy and what's here. We also have to protect our resources. I didn't forget schools from coming here. We got to protect our admins because we don't just feed Floridians, we feed the Eastern Seaboard in the United States of America. We have to protect our rural fringe because as I travel the state, that's the beauty of Florida and it must be protected. We got to balance what's going to come with what has made us great. I was in Lake Okeechobee this morning on a fan boat, not in this suit. No. Listen, the glaze are awesome. If you don't go out in the lake and Lake Okeechobee in a suit, that just don't look good. It's not the right look. But I was out on Lake Okeechobee this morning. I've been there 3 times. Been out on the lake on a fan boat 3 times. I've represented rural Florida. I've represented suburban Florida. We all share this magnificent state together. We have to protect this magnificent state together. And as your next governor, we are going to maintain the beauty that is Florida. Because I want to make sure I get a chance to greet as many of you as I can. But I can't wrap up without acknowledging our future. Our future is not just economics and development. It's not just new technologies and the future of space. The future of Florida, our future success are our kids. There's our success. You want to talk about what's going to allow Florida to continue to be #1? We have to have a world-class K-12 education system here in Florida. Not #1 in America. Not #1 in America. #1 in the world. It starts with making sure that our young kids can actually read. Bringing all the interventions necessary to make that happening. If a kid needs tutoring, we're going to get it to them. We want our teachers to use evidence-based reading curriculum, the science of reading, to make sure that they're just not reading simple text in the 3rd grade, they're reading complex text in the 10th grade. We want to have personalized success plans for our kids. Because guess what? I'm 47 now. There isn't one way to be successful. There's multiple ways to be successful. And we want to arm parents with the success plan for their child. So if your daughter has the math skills to be an engineer, that we know where to put her next on that trajectory to high school graduation and beyond. If that young boy has high-level reading skills, that we put him on a pathway to college to make sure that he's going into the career that's going to help him put food on the table. Maybe he's going to be a physician, or who knows what he's going to do. I was at a steel plant in Polk County a couple of weeks ago, Imperial Polk. You better say Imperial.